to another edition of Traffic Jam Sessions. My name is Chris. I'm just a normal guy on my way to work, dealing with traffic. I figure let's make the most of it. Let's answer a question. Today's question: do audiobooks count as reading? Okay, and there are purists who don't count audiobooks in their reading lists. Okay, just because they got the information in a different way. I think it harkens back to a simpler time. I think it's nostalgia. Holding that physical book in your hand, I think is all that really counts to those people. And I think it's also because we live in a world of almost instant entertainment at any time. We live in a world of distractions and technology and all that. And I think people don't feel as enriched with audiobooks because of all the distractions that might be around. You might be listening to an audiobook while you're driving. You might be on a plane. You might be cleaning the house. You might be at the gym. There are all kinds of things that are distracting you from the story. And I think that's where a lot of that comes from. But really, I think it has to count. Think about it. Back in centuries past, decades past, that physical book, if you were lucky enough to be one of the ones who was literate, because literacy rates weren't real high, that book was really your only escape from what was really a very grueling and difficult existence, back in those days. And that's why reading became such an important part of society. And reading was, think about it. You stream movies today, you have just constant things right at your fingertips, and those books were really all they had, to get away. So I think it does harken back to that more simple lifestyle. But really, if you look at it neurologically, and there's a doctor who I saw she posted this on TikTok, and I'll put it in the description. Neurologically, signals that you get visually, from reading, and auditory from things you're listening to, those signals and that information ends up in the same part of the brain. you know so that really seals it for me that audiobooks have to count as reading, because if you're getting the same comprehension, you're getting the same enrichment, the same information, and it's all going to that same part of your brain, then that seals it for me. 100% audiobooks have to count as reading for that reason, if we're going right down to the science of it. And I get the nostalgia, I get the wanting to have a physical book in your hand, feeling the weight of it, turning the pages yourself. People feel a lot more accomplished, I think, and I can understand that when they finish a book, when it's done in that traditional sense. But using our technology today to get that same information, I don't see any harm in that. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't count, as long as you stay focused and you don't turn it off every 2 minutes to go do something else, or the kids screaming at you, or whatever it might be. As long as you're sticking with it and you're getting all that information, you're getting the story, I think it's the same thing. I really do. And some might disagree with me. Let me know what you think. If audiobooks count as reading, put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think, and also let me know other questions you might want me to answer. Keep in mind, I'm going to stray away from hot button issues like politics. We're not going to go there, but let me know what you think. We'll see you next time.